Jai Gurudev children. Today we are going to study about the excretion. So till now we have studied about nutrition, respiration, circulation, and today's topic is the excretion. That is the last topic of our life process. Now excretion means the removal of nitrogenous waste which produce or which form in our body. Now, this nitrogenous waste, if it remains in our body, it will be injurious to us. So, it has to be removed. So, the process through which it is removed, it is known as excretion. Now, excretion is a common process for all living organisms. But how it takes place, it differs in different organisms. Like those which are made up of only one cell, in them simply through diffusion it is removed. But in complex organism, they are having groups of organ and they together helps in completing the whole process. So in your book mainly they have explained about the excretion in human being. So today we are going to study how the excretion takes place in human body. So here in short just I have written that in human the nitrogenous waste which is removed, it is in the form of urea, and that urea is excreted through a urinary system. Now the diagram now for the urinary system, this means a urinary system, or we can say the excretory system. So for the excretion process in human, we are having a pair of kidney. These two are bean-shaped structure. Then from each of this kidney, two tubular structure comes down. These two forms the ureter. That means a pair of ureter is also present, and which ultimately end into a bladder-like structure which is known as urinary bladder, which has an opening that is known as the urethra. And here you just see these two are the blood vessels. Now what happened? Now while in our body, various type of metabolic processes are taking place, or the activities are taking place. So while performing those processes, many nitrogenous waste are formed, and those nitrogenous waste along with the blood, it enters into the kidney. And in the kidney, that the purification of it takes place, or you can say the removal of those nitrogenous waste product. Now to remove those nitrogenous waste product, no doubt we are having the excretory system, but inside the kidney there we are having numerous small structures known as the nephron. Now here just I have written one N. And means what? You just see here just one curve like structures I have drawn. In both the case lightly I have drawn. Now here numerous nephron, means it's not that only one structure we are having, many minute structures which helps in the filtration. It is present inside our kidney, and that is known as the nephron. So like this type of structures are present. It's a very large one, easily with our naked eye we can see, but it's not so big. Very small structures and many millions are present within the kidney, and they work just like the filter, means it helps in the filtration. Or you can say now at home you all are having the means the RO or aquaguard. Now there we have, or the filter where you have the candle. And the function of the candle is what? It helps in the filtration. So similarly, just the work the candle performs, same work is performed by this nephron inside our kidney. So in the kidney, we are not having one, but millions of like this structure. So first, let me tell you the various parts present in the nephron. So the nephron, if we see, it has one cup-like structures. This is known as the Bowman capsule. Then inside this Bowman capsule, bundles of capillaries are there. Now you all know what is capillaries. So bundles, not one, bundles of capillaries are located within these cup-like structures. And together it is known as the glomerulus. Then if you see this Bowman capsule, it goes down in the form of a tubular structure, which is known as the nephron tubular parts. Now here actually many names are given. Now I'm not giving, since now in class 10 it is not required. Now one more thing, here the diagram means it's quite distinct. But one thing, in our body, in this distinct way, the diagram is not there. Just like all of you, I think children, you all are fond of having Maggie. So the Maggie, how it remains in the coil structure, in the same way, these tubular structures are present. But to show you it properly, this open diagram I have given. You can draw this way also, although in your book, in this way, it is not given. Then you just see this tubular structures ultimately end into one like this branch structure. This is known as the collecting duct. Now, collecting duct means what? In our body or in the kidney, we are having like this many nephron. So like that, through this connection, one of the tubules, they release their secretion in this duct, bigger duct. Then through this also another nephron will release. So in that way, through one collecting duct, they collect the urine from more than one nephron. So in that way, means we are having more than one collecting duct, and they collect the urine, and ultimately from the collecting duct, this urine are excreted in, or it goes into the ureter, and from the ureter it goes into the urinary bladder, and from there at regular interval the urine is excreted out. So these are the two structures, means which we have to know, and in exam by chance if you are asked to draw, you have to draw both the diagram. First the excretory system, and then next the nephron. So here first I have just explained what are the structures which helps in the excretion process. Now next, children, you all have to know how the excretion takes place, or you can say excretion means the formation of urine. Now how the urine formation takes place. Now to explain it in your book, if you go through just in one paragraph, it is explained, but to make it easier, I'm going to explain under 3 heading, or I have given in the written form also. If you go through easily, you can understand, I think. So there, what the mechanism of urine formation, it can be explained in 3 steps. So the first step is the glomerulus filtration. Second step is the selective reabsorption. And the last step is the tubular secretion. Now here, just use, if you see, now this one, just the rough diagram I have drawn of the nephron. Now, whatever the things takes place, it will take place, that urine formation, it's get completed within the nephron. So the first part, that is the glomerulus filtration, it takes place within this region. Now here what happened? Now I think you all know what is glomerulus. Glomerulus means the bundle of capillaries within this cup-like structures. Now through this artery, the blood having nitrogenous waste, when it enters into the glomerulus with great force, here the filtration takes place. Filtration means what? From these capillaries, some substance, it moves out and it enters into this empty space within the Bowman capsule. And this hollow structure, it is known as the lumen. So the filtration takes place, and that's why since the filtration takes place in between the glomerulus and the Bowman capsule, it is known as the glomerulus filtration. So that is the first step of the urine formation. Now, after filtration, what happened? Now here, the filtrate, it consists of nitrogenous waste, but along with it, some useful substance too comes out or are present in the lumen. So those useful substance, even it includes water, then you can say glucose, amino acids. Beside this, some other substance too are present. And after that, through these blood vessels, the blood free from the nitrogenous waste, it goes out. So that is the first step of the urine formation. Now the next step is the selective reabsorption. Now selective means what? Not at a time, but as the in different parts of this tubular region, as the filtrate passes through it, different substances are reabsorbed. So since the absorption of those substances takes place in different parts of the tubule, it is known as selective reabsorption. That means according to their requirement, different substances are reabsorbed in different parts of this tubular region. So that means what? Now here I have already mentioned it includes the urea, along with it some useful substance like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, water too are present. Now those substance, it doesn't remain within this cup-like structures. From here it passes through this tubule. But as they passes through it, from there in different parts, the useful substance are reabsorbed by the blood vessels or by the fluids present within the kidney. Now, so that means what? As they passes through this tubular region, more useful substance are reabsorbed and only the unwanted substance will enter into this collecting duct. So that's why the second step, it is known as selective reabsorption. Then the last step is the tubular secretion. Now this tubular secretion also, if you see, it takes place even in this tubular region. Now tubular means what? This tubule, this is known as the tubule. This tubule itself also made up of many cells, and these cells also release some substance which are not required by our body. And those, it may be uric acid, it may be creatinine, which are not required by our body. So those substances also, along with the urine, those are excreted out from our body. So that's why it is said to be tubular secretion. So ultimately, the substance which from this tubular region, when it enters into the collecting duct, it includes mainly urea, water, and beside this, means what? Although it contains from here, even sometimes, according to our requirements, sometimes even water, little bit of water, it may reabsorb from the collecting duct. Now, after that, whatever the leftover present here, it is known as urine. Now, that urine from the collecting duct, it will enter into the, if you see, if you'll remember this diagram, it will means those collecting ducts, ultimately they throw their secretion into this ureter. Similarly, from this kidney also, through collecting duct, they will throw their secretion into the ureter. And now from these two ureter, the urine ultimately it is stored in the urinary bladder. And from here at regular interval, it is excreted out through the opening in the form of urine. And this opening is known as the urethra. And this whole thing is under the control of our nervous system. So I think children, you all have some idea about nervous system. Again, later on we will discuss. But now just you remember that the whole process, no doubt, it takes place within the excretory system and the nephron, which is located within the you can say the kidney, but it is controlled by our nervous system. So in this way, means what happened in our body, the unwanted substance, unwanted means the urea or the nitrogenous waste, which is harmful for us, are removed from our body. So you have to go through the diagram, and one PDF file also I have sent. You go through it. Tomorrow again we are going to discuss about it. Now beside this, the last part there, even they have mentioned that in plants also the excretion takes place. But in them, the excretion is not so complicated, just like in case of human being. So in plants, simply they excrete water through the process known as transpiration, or like sometimes from the plants also, like sometimes the leaf fall. So when the leaf fall, that means what? That is unwanted. And that in that way also some substance are removed, unwanted substance, or sometimes in the form of gums or resins, those are removed. So in case of plants, simply it is removed, and there it's not so complicated. So this much only in this chapter. You go through it. Tomorrow again we are going to discuss. Thank you. Jai Gurudev.